Mhm. Okay, I can't see anything or hear anything. Okay.
Do you have audio now?
I can't hear anything.
Good morning.
Here, open.
Good morning, sir. We're ready to roll, I believe.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's call the meeting to
This
order.
meeting is being recorded.
Let's call the meeting to order. Uh, the give us the meeting posting, please.
The agenda was posted on Friday, March 5th, 2021 at 1:30 p.m. and a supplemental agenda was posted on Friday, March 5th, 2021 at 3:35 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Let's pause briefly for a moment of silence, and then we'll have our Veteran Service Officer, Steve Hernandez, do the pledge.
It's him calling. I think we should be good.
Okay, Steve. Steve Hernandez on.
Okay, I'm on. Yes, sir. Okay.
All
Yes,
right.
please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. I don't believe we have any public comments today. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay. All right, Dustin, if you'll start the agenda.
Yes, sir. Judge, do you want to jump to the supplemental first and we can handle the FEMA item?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. So, under the supplemental agenda, under item B, additional items for discussion, we have a discussion and or action regarding FEMA DR 4586. And I believe Elizabeth is on with it this morning. She was just going to give us a quick update on the process and let us know kind of what the county still needs to be working on.
All right. Good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. So we're still in the middle of our process. I'm actually working on submitting our RPA right now. That's our initial first step for that request for public assistance. Had some issues with my account getting logged into, but I should be submitting that very shortly after this meeting. After that, we will set up our initial scoping meeting with FEMA. And then after that, we will have 60 days to get in all of our projects related to the public assistance for the FEMA reimbursement. But I think another thing I just want to remind everybody that we do need to track all of our costs. It is very critical that we do so. To kind of give you an idea, that PSTAT, that Public State of Texas Assessment Survey tool, we've had 21 total surveys submitted. All 21 of those are currently for category F, the utilities. So we need to show, what have we done for emergency protective measures? And if there's any other categories, category F is not open right now, but it is vital by showing that we have 21 surveys in category F. It gives the state some leverage to talk to FEMA about opening up more of those categories. So like I said, it's very critical that we continue to show and document all costs and anything related to the storm, from road and bridges, utilities, buildings, equipment, and content, and all that good stuff. So that's where we're at right now. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, any questions anyone have? Okay, thank you.
I have a quick question. What's the, you may have said this, I'm sorry, but the deadline, when would be the ultimate deadline?
So our RPA is due by March 21st. So I'm going to go ahead and submit that today. Go ahead and get that initial thing in. After we have our scoping meeting with FEMA, we'll have 60 days to get all our projects in. So it'll be 60 days from that initial scoping meeting whenever we schedule that. And that'll be tentative a week to 2 weeks after we get our RPA submitted and it is approved by FEMA. So does that kind of help answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Elizabeth, would this be only for losses actually incurred? Or can it be for fixing potholes and stuff like that that the ice has created in the roads?
We can submit for projects like that for the roads. The worst we can do is we can submit it into FEMA, and the worst they tell us is no. So I wouldn't say any kind of damages that we've incurred because of the winter storm, it is better to track all of those costs and try to seek reimbursement for those costs.
Okay, thank you.
So really the crux of my question is, we're not going to know for a while what the extent of the damages on the roads are. We have an idea right now, what has cropped up, but our roads are just not designed for super sub-zero weather like we had. So
There's been quite a lot that's popped up already. I agree. You're not going to know the full extent, but we can get everything we can get together. Every little bit helps.
Exactly.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you very much. Okay, let's go to item D. Dustin?
Yes, sir. So under item D, we have two potential orders for the court to act on. Under item 1, consideration and possible approval of order regarding face coverings, masks for COVID-19 mitigation. And item 2 is consideration and possible approval of order on face coverings for county employees. And so if the court will remember, back in June of 2020, the court enacted an order which required face coverings for county employees and for visitors when social distancing could not be maintained. So before y'all this morning, we have two orders that are designed to work together. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Mike and let him kind of step through those orders, and then we can help answer any questions.
Okay. First of all, the impetus behind this is obviously the governor's executive order GA 34, which lifts the mandatory mask order. That doesn't mean that a county government as an employer can't put in place mask requirements. The first order is essentially taking out from the June order all the masking stuff related to both employees and visitors. And it goes on to say visitors to county and facilities will not be required to wear a face covering or mask, but are strongly encouraged to do so. One one caveat to that is, like at the courthouse, if there's an order of the judiciary that requires face coverings, the employees and or visitors have to wear them regardless of what your decision is on these orders. The second order on face coverings for county employees, that is intended to, continue to try to keep some mitigation in place, but it's left to the discretion of the department heads and elected officials as to whether they believe that is a priority for their department. They know how much contact they have with the public and all, and it's just best to let them make the independent decision as to their departments. We could, do it as a county thing, but the truth of the matter is there's some departments that have no real public contact, and there's some that have tremendous amounts of public contact, like the tax office. So to let them have let the department heads and elected officials have the authority to make their own decision on face coverings for visitors. I mean, for employees. Sorry.
Any questions? Okay,
Oh, Judge, excuse me, I had one.
okay.
Are we being asked to choose one of these, or are we being asked to approve both of these?
You're being asked to approve both of them. They're two separate orders, but they work together. The first one just takes out stuff from the June order. And then the second one is with regard to employees only. The first one took it out as to employees and visitors. And the second one is the way we propose to handle face mask coverings for our employees. So they're both proposed to be adopted.
Okay. Then I would have another question. We don't make any reference to the public or visitors that come in contact with our county departments. Can we insert wording similar to the governor's order where we know we can't make them, but that we would strongly encourage it or recommend? And I say that because of the records building, and we've made such positive progress. I would just like to do anything we can to ensure we're trying to be the safest. So is there any way that we could insert into one of these orders encouragement of
Yes,
those?
if you look at on the
Mhm.
order regarding face coverings, masks for COVID-19 mitigation, number 2, visitors to county facilities will not be required to wear a face covering mask, but are strongly encouraged to do so.
Yeah.
And I sent Dustin what Hewitt is putting up, which is a sign that says, my mask protects you and your mask protects me. And it's kind of like a deal that, to encourage use, kind of put a guilt trip on them to put the mask on. And also, we will have masks available at all departments. In case somebody comes in and starts feeling like I should have a mask, and they can go ahead and put one on.
Right.
Yes, we would provide, any signage or those things for encouragement. We just come short of requiring it for our visitors. But I do agree that we should have adequate masks available, especially like the tax office, where someone feels like they need a mask and they don't have one, or even if they left it in the car, which I do every time, is we would provide that for them and to get them as comfortable as, as possible.
Right. And, there's an argument we could make that this is our property and we can, control what visitors' use of the property. But what I'm worried about is the governor's order where it says no jurisdiction shall require somebody to wear a mask. These are public buildings. So we're just a little bit worried about using that argument. Some places are using it, feel less strongly about using it. So visitors would be able to enter public buildings without a mask, except at the courthouse, if the administrative judge has an order that requires everyone entering the courthouse to wear a mask, then they would have to, because that's a totally separate power.
So Mike, that was my question. If you could explain for the record, D14, the operational order of the judiciary, and then D23. Could you kind of go over that real quickly?
Right. The right now, the administrative orders that have been adopted by the administrative judge of our district courts does not require a face mask unless you go into the jury trial addendum, where if there's a jury trial going on, then everybody that's going to be in there, for over an hour, Dustin?
Yes, sir.
Over an hour has to wear a face mask. But, and this is something that the administrative judge now, Judge Bernard, is looking at, a judge can enter a courthouse-wide order requiring masks because under their inherent authority and under the Supreme Court rules. We have not done that yet, but there's some indication that that might be done for a short period of time, just to see how things are going with the unmasking.
The fact that our order or the governor's order is effective at 12:01 midnight tonight. I've talked to Judge Menard about possibly today having a directive to wear a mask until they have a office of court administration call at 4. And but to be able to clue in security of what the requirement is. And that she talked about possibly doing it till Friday, but and then that way the judges could meet again post the mask governor's order lift and make a decision on what they do going forward. And I don't believe Judge Menard's on. Dustin, I don't see her.
No, sir, she's not.
Okay. So that's kind of where we left it in that discussion.
So it might be for just a short time.
Right.
And then if the judges can get together and decide it's a necessary protective or mitigation strategy,
Right.
then they could extend it for a longer time.
Right. And not to get off in the weeds, but there's other things too. But it appears that if there's multiple judges within a a building, judicial building like the courthouse, any one of them can cause that to happen the way we see it now. The Office of Court Administration called it for today, may clarify that or change that to some extent. But we won't know until that time. On the orders at hand, is there any other questions or comments anyone would have?
The only thing I would say, and I'm going back to those who visit our county facilities, I wish there were a way we could protect all departments in the same manner that courts are, but I understand the distinction. But we do have offices that receive a high level of public traffic, and they've incurred some issues in regards to COVID-19. So in the governor's order, I kind of like the way he says that individuals are strongly encouraged to wear it over the nose and mouth wherever it's feasible. It is not feasible to maintain the 6 feet of social distancing. And I know and I also understand the enforcement weakness of his order. But if we could undergird our wording to more encourage visitors to keep the mask on. I was out this weekend at Walmart, and it was a elderly lady walking up behind me. She didn't have a mask on. And the gentleman told her she needed to, come back when she had a mask. She couldn't get he didn't let her into the store. And she says, well, I thought we didn't have to wear those things anymore. And I say that to say there'll be a lot of people that are just really prone. They want to take it off. And I understand that we're tired and a little battle worn from having to wear it, but I also understand the danger of retrogressing, our going back on all the progress that we've made. So I don't know. I wish we had a little bit more teeth in that section 2. I did see it, but I guess I got really directed to the wording in the governor's order. It's just a little stronger, and it just seems to maybe encourage people a little more to go ahead and keep their mask on, especially if they can't maintain the 6 feet social distancing.
Well, as far as I know, in all of our offices where we have public come in, we've accommodated those areas with plexiglass, as well as requiring our employees to wear masks. And as far as I also know, that it appears that there's a 6 feet spread between those folks as well. I think where there is an issue, we may have a few offices where the employees it's hard for them to continually maintain 6 feet. But one of the keys there is, not to be that close to someone over 15 minutes. And
they'll be, and if they can't maintain the 6 feet, they're supposed to be wearing masks anyway. So,
yeah.
But they know that. You're saying if they can't maintain 6 feet, they're supposed to be wearing a mask?
well, employees.
Employees, yes, that's correct.
And I guess I'm talking about the congestion sometimes you get on the front entrance of the records building. And they try to keep people distanced. They try to keep people some on the outside, some on the inside, and they do try to spread them out. But just if you catch it at the right time, you just have people in and out of there going in different places, especially on that first floor. And I guess I'm just asking on section 2, if we could maybe more mirror what the governor has when he talks about visitors or individuals that wouldn't necessarily be employees, if we could more mirror his wording.
I don't have any problem with that. Would you read the wording again?
It says individuals are strongly encouraged to wear face coverings over the nose and mouth wherever it is not feasible to maintain 6 feet of social distancing from another person not in the same household. But no person may be required by any jurisdiction to wear or to mandate the wearing of a face covering.
Well, we only need down to where it says no jurisdiction.
Mhm.
If there's a motion to approve these orders and that is okay with everybody, we can amend number 2 to include that language.
I don't have a problem with that. It's just broadening suggestion is what we're doing.
Right.
Okay. Any other comments? Commissioner Jones, did you have something?
I'm fine with it,
Okay.
with
Thank
that
you.
language. I think it's excellent.
Okay. All right. Dustin, let's take them one at a time. Not everybody has the resolution, so they've read them. So I don't think that we need to read them unless someone wants it to. But what's the pleasure of the court?
Which one are we doing now, Judge?
So we'll do D1. This is the one with the additional language suggested by Commissioner Miller. It's consideration and possible approval of order regarding face coverings, masks for COVID-19 mitigation.
Okay, move to approve the order regarding face coverings, masks for COVID-19 mitigation with the recommended amendment.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. Let's call for a vote. Mercedes, if you would.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Judge Felton,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Pass. Dustin?
Under item 2, consideration and possible approval of order on face coverings for county employees.
Okay, any questions or clarifications needed for that?
So is Commissioner Perry not on, or is he,
I'm on.
Oh, okay.
are you okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm actually, I'm tied up, but I'm on right now.
Do we need to come get you?
Unless you want to help me.
Does not sound good.
Okay, if there's no other discussions that are pertinent to the order, then what's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to
Move to-
approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, call for a vote.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Judge Felton,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Perry.
Aye.
Pass. Okay, Dustin, anything else to come before the court?
No, sir, that is it for today.
All right, and reminder, we have a regular scheduled Commissioners Court meeting next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Among the other, the agenda items, we will also put as a work session item, the federal assistance COVID legislation, if it's approved by the House by then, and try to go over what it means to us and you know how we can be prepared to address all those opportunities. Okay, if nothing else, well, it is 9:29. We stand adjourned.
Thank y'all.
Thanks.
The recording has stopped.